Today I'm breaking down exactly how you can make money from your Python skills, not by simply getting a job, but by working in these different areas and on these specific project types. If you watch this channel, you know that I always say the best way to start making money is to specialize, and it's great to be able to do that with Python. I have a lot of different ideas for you, ones that I've personally done myself, and I can guarantee by the time you get to the end of this video, you'll have something that you can work on which can actually make you money, even if you're not an expert in Python. Now, with that in mind, if you want a more comprehensive guide on how to make money from coding in general, I'll actually give it to you completely for free if you just sign up for my newsletter. This guide breaks down how to start freelancing, how to price your projects, all of the different ways you can make money that aren't Python specific. So sign up for that newsletter. It's completely free and I'll send it over to your inbox. With that said, let's get into it and learn about how to make money from Python. So the first method on my list is to build bots and automation tools. Now, a lot of companies and even just individuals need bots for things like Discord or Telegram or Slack, or they might need a small automation project, something that can maybe save them 30 minutes or an hour of work per week. The idea is that a lot of times these projects are quite simple and people just don't even know where to start with them. But Python is a really fantastic way to build out these types of projects, and I myself have been paid by tons of people to build really simple Discord bots or a small automation to kind of, do a task that's very repetitive. And I'll give you a concrete example of something I was actually paid for about a few years ago when I was just getting started and I wasn't an absolute expert, which is the important thing here. So at the time, I was actually working at a summer camp, and at that summer camp, they used to do manual schedule creation. That means all of the different groups, there'd be two people in the office and they'd say, okay, this group is playing soccer at this time, this group is going to basketball, this group has lunch, and there's always conflictions, right? Like you can't have too many groups playing basketball at the same time, or you can't have every single person going to lunch at the exact same time. So they would manually go through this process and create the schedules, and it was just an absolute nightmare. So I spent about 4 or 5 hours. I built an automation project for them where they just pressed a single button, they filled in some constraints, and it would generate all of the schedules for them. Sure, there was a little bit of manual review, but it saved them hours per week, and because of that, the director of the camp gave me a small bonus. I was working there at the time, but he gave me some additional money because of all of the money I helped the camp save, or the time I helped them save at least every single week. Now, the second method on my list is courses or content creation. Now, I feel like I have to say this because obviously that's where I make most of my money, but the truth is you can make tons of money teaching people how to use Python. Python is a super popular language. A lot of people want to learn it to do things like I just described, and it's very popular for hobby programmers, people just getting into the industry, or a first language. That means that you don't need to make an overly complicated, crazy high-level course. You can make something really specific to what people actually want. For example, you could make a course on how to make a Discord bot, or how to make a Slack bot, or how to do web scraping in Python. These don't need to be massive 20-hour long courses. They can be a few hours. You can post them on Udemy and you can make a few dollars per sale. Look, these aren't things that are going to make you millionaires overnight. I'm just giving you the reality. And if you want to get started, this is a great way to do it. And that's how I started making money online. A long time ago, when I was just getting started with this channel, I didn't have a huge following, and I had a small Python course that I sold for $79. And even though it wasn't a super complex course, and I was really just at the beginning of my journey, I got a few hundred sales and I made a good amount of money from that. So definitely something to consider. If you know specifically a niche area in Python, you can teach that to people and you can get paid. And you might be surprised, some people may even pay you to do one-on-one teaching, which is something I got a lot of when I was just starting out and people wanted that more hands-on kind of practical learning. And speaking of courses, you guys know I have a massive software developer course which takes you from no experience to landing a software developer job. And right now when you're watching this video, it is 20% off. This is the first time we've ran any kind of sale on this course. I hate being sleazy and having all of those countdown timers and constant 90% off sales. This is the only time this course will be on sale for the next year. So if you do want to pick it up, you can go to the link in the description. We're offering 20% off for the next few days. So take advantage of that now because we're never going to be lowering the price and we are never going to be doing another sale, at least for another year, maybe the next Black Friday that comes up. Now, the next method on my list is to build chatbots and perform AI integration. Now, bear with me for a second here because I know this can sound complicated, but trust me, it's really not that complex. Now, all I'm saying here is pretty much helping people or small businesses integrate with AI. Look, we all know that AI has huge hype right now. Everybody's trying to use it, more and more people are getting on it, but the reality is most people don't know how it works, they don't know how to integrate it into any kind of system they have, and they definitely don't know even how to write some basic code to get something like a chatbot on their website. I know for us developers, it seems really trivial and simple, but especially for people that are running like a retail store or something, or a local small business, they don't even think about these things. So if you can present them an idea where you can add a chatbot to their site, you can save them a ton of customer support hours, you can increase the order volume, you can do all of these kinds of things with AI very, very easily. You can charge a lot of money for it, and I'm going to give you some real world examples. So I have a friend right now, he runs a small like AI integration startup. Not really a startup, but all he's doing is consulting with businesses and kind of showing them how they can use AI to increase their efficiency. Sometimes it's increasing sales, sometimes it's a chatbot on a website, sometimes it's automating some internal process. Doesn't really matter, it's not that complicated. 90% of his projects end up just using a really simple AI agent that integrates with something like Claude or OpenAI. They pay for the OpenAI usage and he charges thousands of dollars to build these out. And most times it takes him a day or 2 days to finish the project. So that is totally something you can be doing. And if you want to do something more complex, you can check out tools like Langflow. I've done a ton of videos with that on the channel. You can use things like Llama Index and LangChain. These allow you to kind of integrate AI really easily with Python, and you can build some really cool stuff that can actually make a real world impact that's not that complicated. Now, the next method I have for you is algorithmic trading and financial analysis. Now, look, this is obviously a big market, and the people that operate in this space typically have a lot of money. If you are able to do things like track the different prices of tons of cryptocurrency coins and display that on a dashboard, if you can have different signals that trigger a bot to do a buy order or a sell order, if you can build custom bots based on what maybe a financial analyst wants you to make, you can make a lot of money. And I know this because I did exactly that. About a year ago, I actually had a freelance project going on where someone was paying me $200 per hour to build a simple bot that could track the price of Bitcoin and based on different signals he gave me, indicate whether to buy or sell. So I wasn't actually executing the order, but it was just in like a Slack channel saying buy, sell, whatever. And that's how we set it up. He paid me a ton of money to do that. We worked on it for many hours. He's the one who had all of the mathematical insight, but he wanted me to code out that solution. So within this space, there is a lot of money to be had. Obviously, you've got to find the right people, but even for yourself, if you can build something like a trading bot, if you can build something like a crypto trading bot specifically, you can make a ton of money, and it's definitely something worth checking out. Moving on, we have the method that most of you are probably familiar with, and that is full stack web development. Now, Python has fantastic frameworks like Django, Flask, and Fast API, and oftentimes people need websites. They need web applications, maybe even something like an API, and as a Python developer, you can build it for them and you can make money. Lots of people work as freelance web developers primarily with Python. Obviously, if you're going to be doing a full stack app, you're going to need to know a bit of JavaScript, CSS, HTML, how to style the page. You're going to need to know more than just Python, but the core of the logic will be written in Python if you use languages like Django. Now, obviously, this can be difficult. There's tons of people competing in this space, so you probably need to start with people you know, need to get some kind of referral or connection, or even start by building your own site and then using that to potentially attract clients if you've done a really good job. Anyways, full stack web development and web development in general with Python is definitely a way to make money. Lots of people need sites. You can build it in Python. To be honest, you can build it in anything that you want and you can get paid for it. Now, the last method on my list is data analysis and data cleaning. Now, you would be shocked how many companies have so much data, but they're not using any of it, or they're barely using it. A lot of times companies will collect all of the data in the world. They've got all these Excel spreadsheets or all these different files or emails or whatever it may be, but they're not really using those, and they're definitely not cleaning through it, getting the important information and displaying those in things like dashboards. So if you can identify a place where a company has a bunch of data, but they're not utilizing it properly, you can first of all analyze that data with some basic machine learning algorithms. You can pick up different trends and correlations. You can clean the data and process it, and then you can display it on things like dashboards that maybe are interactive so the company can actually utilize the data and get value from it. I was actually just at an AI conference recently, and one of the main topics they talked about is data waste. So many companies collect massive amounts of data, but they just don't know what to do with it. And it's also such an overwhelming task because a lot of times it's very messy. There's all kinds of random entries in there. Maybe they didn't collect it properly. So if you can go in there, you can clean the data up, you can extract some insights from it, and you can display that to the company, you can definitely get paid. Now, to do this in Python, you have all kinds of beautiful modules. You can use pandas, you can use matplotlib, you can use numpy, you can use seaborn. There's a lot of data-centric libraries in Python. I'm sure you can find them on your own. But the point is, this is another great avenue to consider. So anyways, guys, that is it for how to make money with Python. Look, I know this didn't cover everything. You need to get clients. You need to know how much to charge. You need to invoice properly. You need to build relationships. I can go on and on. And if you want more information, do sign up for that free newsletter where I give you some more general insight into how to make money from coding. This was meant to give you some more ideas and niches which you can dive into within Python specifically. So hopefully this helped you out. And if it did, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.